Let's talk about, one of the big topics on the show today has been the juiced baseballs. Okay,
Yeah.
so you had Verlander come out and say this is BS. Max Scherzer backed them up. I'm sure a few other pitchers have. And then Manfred got very defensive and said, look, we haven't done anything to the baseballs. We don't tell Rawlings to make them any different. I don't know where they make them, but he said that they've sent them to scientists. And they're trying to find out why there's less, drag on the ball. But pitchers will tell you, look, they just look different. They're tighter. They're maybe a little harder. The seams are flatter. So there's definitely a difference in the ball. Whether or not baseball told Rawlings to do it or not, who knows? But the numbers are crazy.
Yeah, it's we're on pace to absolutely smash the record that was set just 2 years ago. They're hitting almost 1.4 home runs per game. The record was set after like 1.2 home runs per game. We could break the record by at least 400 home runs, maybe more. The Yankees are going to break their record by a lot. It's just it's crazy. And, the Major League Baseball released the study of they got a bunch of scientists, like you said, to study the ball, and their conclusion was there was a change in the aerodynamic properties of the baseball. And, it has more reduced drag, means it goes further, and when you hit the ball further, you get more home runs.
Right.
It's not rocket science. I'm not really sure what they weren't able to get the exact issue, but it sounds like there's a rubber pill inside that may be more centered in the baseball than it was in recent years. And they all say the ball may be staying rounder while spinning, and those two issues are what's causing the ball to just leave the yard at a tremendous rate.
By the way, baseballs are made in Costa Rica, someplace I would not want to go for
really?
a destination wedding, for a throwback to yesterday's show.
Well, since Manfred's getting criticized, I just asked Girardi this. Since he's getting criticized and it's a big deal now nationally, we talked about it. I don't necessarily hate it. I mean, I'm still going to watch the game. I'm used to a different style of game, but I'll still watch it because I'm a baseball fan. But you think Manfred's going to be forced to do something next year to dial it back?
I mean, what are they going to do to dial it back? Because they'd have to admit that there's something changed with the ball, which is what they're saying hasn't happened. So, like, what is it that they can do that would dial it back?
Well, they don't have to tell anybody. They don't have to tell us they're dialing it back. It just happens. It just like it happened.
Right, but
it got juiced.
But this whole scientific study was prompted by people getting baseballs that were hit out of the yard over various years and testing them.
Right.
Now, the sample size isn't great, but obviously there are going to be people out there that are going to be able to suss out what happened. So I'm not sure how they dial it back. But look, I mean, this is the major league that they created, right? You have more data than ever before. You have players that are constantly tinkering with their swing to get more of a launch angle. You have hurlers that are becoming more and more two-pitch pitchers at a very high velocity. The faster you throw the pitch, the faster it's going to be. The exit velocity increases. So, I'm not sure what steps that they can take other than, I don't know, maybe put the balls in a humidifier or, maybe not allow pitchers to put mud on the ball as much, make sure the balls are cleaner. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but anything that baseball does, short of creating a ball that doesn't fly as far, it's going to be counteracted by scouting reports, pitching reports, and all the data that's out there. I'm not sure that there even is a solution.
Yeah, maybe
that
they don't do anything.
Mitigate the problem.
Maybe next year there's 8,000 home runs hit.
And why is this bad for baseball? I don't understand why people are so outraged about the home run. I mean, we've been in love with home runs and strikeouts for as long as baseball has been around, and we have more of both than ever before. I'm not really sure what the issue is. I mean, just look at the home run derby from the other night. I mean, the loser got more publicity than the winner because he just crushed the ball. And that's what fans are into now.
I don't know. Some of the older guys, they're 70 years old, want to see 4-3 games where
Right.
there's a bunch of hit and runs.
The old guard.
And there's balls hitting the gap, and guys got to hit the cutoff man. And I don't know. It's some fans just don't enjoy it. I don't hate it. I think that's just the way the game is progressing, if that's the word you want to use. But like I said, maybe nothing happens. All right. So with the NL East, fire, since May 24th, when they were swept by the Mets. Still 6 games back of the Braves, who are really good. The Braves are probably going to add a pitcher or two before the deadline, probably a starter because they have a couple of young arms. But their lineup is legit, so they may not be able to catch them. But, I mean, the Nats in a one-game playoff, if it's the Phillies or if it's Milwaukee or whoever, you got to love their chances, especially if they're pitching at home with Max Scherzer or Strassi on the mound. So what are your feelings on the NL East right now?
Yeah, I think that the Nationals have certainly turned a corner in large part for Max Scherzer. I mean, I'll have an article on this in Sunday's print edition, how important he's been to this recent surge and really getting the Nationals back to relevancy, because they were left for dead, and rightly so, by a lot of people before he caught fire. I do think that they're in control of the wild card. I think the division race is already done. I think most of the division races, with the exception of perhaps the NL Central, are already over. So yeah, I mean, it's certainly the wild card at this point, and they had the hitters, they have the pitchers. They just need to make sure that bullpen doesn't let them down at the most inopportune moment. That to me is really still the biggest issue in terms of what realistically can you expect from these Nationals. And like you said, sure, they get into a one-game playoff or something like that. They have Scherzer, they have Rendon, Trey Turner, etc. But they also have that bullpen, and if they can't get their starter to the point where it's Scherzer to Doolittle, there could be some increased anxiety for that inning or two that they have to go to the pen.